Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the When We Were Kids, a Time Capsule Toys Podcast. I don't even know what I was going to say, but I'm Rick. I'm here once again with BJ. We got a Honky Tonk Man signing coming up at Time Capsule Toys. Go check Facebook because I don't remember the date.
March 7th, I think.
There you go, March 7th. I don't remember the dates, but I remember the date for the ThunderRosa one. ThunderRosa at Monsters in the Toy Box is on 3/16, Stone Cold Steve Austin Day. I want to have a signing for Stone Cold Steve Austin Day, so that's what I call it at least. Monsters in the Toy Box actually is also going to be having a buying event. That's right. On this Sunday, the 23rd, from 12 to 4. Bring your crap. I'll buy it. Well, most of it. Some of it is probably actual crap that I don't want.
No Beanie Babies.
Yeah, no Beanie Babies.
No NASCAR.
Definitely not NASCAR. I don't want your gross old Tonka trucks that will give me tetanus. Or your used Cabbage Patch dolls with no clothes. I want action figures. I want Transformers. I want monsters. New and old stuff. But yeah, every now and again we do these buying events because people forget that our shops like us buy.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to do it every now and again because it's just weird that you have to tell people that you're buying stuff and then you have to have a special event saying you're buying stuff. So whatever. So 23rd this Sunday, we're buying. I'm hoping to buy lots of stuff. But anyways, enough of that cheap plug. I don't know why I thought about this earlier today, but I was watching TV and I saw really bad commercials. And do you remember any of your favorite commercials from when you were a kid?
So, yeah, I just remember all the ones from, like, every commercial on Saturday morning in, like, the late 80s, early 90s was, like, awesome, like whatever the hell they were selling, like you had, like you wanted to go get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of the ones I remember, like definitely a lot of toy ones, but that like food, like it was always like some food or some weird like a Taco Bell jingle. Like I remember there was one where like they made back when I think you could get like tacos were like 39 cents or whatever. It was. So yeah, I remember like some of those stupid jingles from Taco Bell. Yeah, a lot of food ones though.
A lot of food ones. I was thinking about any board game from like the late 80s, early 90s had the coolest commercial, like Fireball Island.
Battleship was a good one, I remember.
Battleship. Like all those commercials for board games made the board games look so awesome.
I remember an Operation commercial too. What other sorry, I remember. I'm trying to think of the other board games we had as a kid that like my brother and I played like a couple times, and then that was and you lost the pieces or broke the board or we fought over it.
There was commercials for stuff too that like there was like Tornado. There was a commercial for Tornado Rex, which I still play that game with my kids. Like Tornado Rex and stuff like that. They're actually still fun games to play that had really good commercials. But then there was the board games that had really bad, really good commercials to where when you got it, you're like, this is going to be great. And it was absolutely terrible. And the one that comes to mind more than anything and still sticks to my head to this day is Mousetrap.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, Mousetrap. It just never worked. It would work one time, and then that was it for Mousetrap.
I never had it. I always wanted it because it looked so cool. But then everyone I knew who had it said it never worked. It took too long to set up.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like you didn't have the patience to set that up, and then it would work one time, and then you'd lose something or break something. Yeah. It would work. Well, screw this.
Like another game that stuck out in my head that we actually sell a lot of, but the problem is it's so hard to find it complete or not broken, and the one piece that's broken on it is always the same piece. I actually sold a copy of this game when Evil Uno did Toy Ohio. Him and Paige and all them came to the shop. 13 Dead End Drive.
I don't remember that one at all.
It was like kind of like Clue, but not. It was like a 3D board game to where like there was a knight that you would hit and he'd flip over and like kill your person or whatever, or else you go to the top of the steps, you get hit and you fall off, or the chandelier would fall on you. That's what part was always broken. There's this little ball peg thing that sticks up out of the chandelier. It's always broke, and I don't understand why. Like, what were you doing to that chandelier? Because like it had a little fork it had to go into, so when you hit the thing, it would just slide off, or whatever. I don't know what kids like. Why were you chewing on it or whatever? Like, what was your obsession with the chandelier? Like, why didn't you break the night? Why didn't you break the stairs? You always broke the chandelier.
Here's a game I think everybody had, and I don't know why the hell we played it because it sucked. Remember the game of Life?
Yes.
I always had like 4 daughters or whatever. Like they put little things in that. Like, but why do we play that? Like it was not like a. It was. I
used to play with my cousin.
It's a stupid ass game.
I forgot all about it, and it wasn't fun.
No,
and I don't understand. I don't even
it.
remember the concept of it.
Everybody had it, but I don't know why we play. Yeah, I don't know why the hell we played it. That was not
like the game of Life is like the game like everyone had. No one knows how you got it or why you got it.
I think it just came with every house you bought.
Exactly. Much like those other shop owners will get this. Hess trucks. The amount of Hess trucks that are out in the world is mind-boggling. Like, who buys these? It's always these Hess semi-trucks. And so many people bring in, like, totes of them. Like, I have Hess trucks. Like, we don't buy Hess trucks. It's like, why? Because they must have given them to, like, if you had a kid, you got 1 tote of Hess trucks free at the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, Hess trucks and Game of Life.
Yeah, Life sucked. Why the hell? I remember playing that a lot too. Like, why? Why? What? For what? I have no idea. Like, hey kids. Like,
I don't know if this game had a commercial, but I remember always really loving to play it. Was Trouble, but I never understood. Like, I can never get. When I was a kid, couldn't really get the instructions down pat.
I remember the game. I remember Trouble, but I don't remember playing it enough that I remember how it worked though either. You know what I mean? Like I remember we had it, but that might have been when we didn't get it either as kids and then just moved on. Like
one game that I started playing more as an adult, mind you, was obviously it's not a game for kids. As an adult, not even an adult, I'd probably say late teen, early 20s. Me and my friends got into like this huge deal of playing Trivial Pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why.
I remember playing that as an adult with my brother and like my parents or whatever, and my brother can't play Trivial Pursuit. He gets so pissed off. I was like, why do you get so fired up over Trivial Pursuit? It's like to the point where he would like leave the house. It's like, do what? It's just Trivial Pursuit. He would get so pissed off at that.
He's like the bubble boy from Seinfeld.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he's like, you're cheating.
The answer is the moops.
He'd always accuse us of cheating or giving hints or whatever else, and then he would get all pissed off and leave. It was like
some of those questions on Trivial Pursuit are about damn near impossible.
Yeah, there were some crazy ones, I remember.
And it was just, I don't know why we played it, but we did.
I remember another commercial. Remember a commercial for Risk. I remember like always starting that and thinking like, oh, this will be fun, and then just abandoning it like almost right away because it's like, well,
yeah, because it's like Monopoly. It takes forever.
Way too long. Yeah,
like Monopoly. The only way to get through a game of Monopoly, in my opinion, is to play the Nintendo game. That's the only time I've ever finished an actual game of Monopoly was the Nintendo game because I'm like, Monopoly took too long.
Yeah, it did take forever, but yeah, I think. I do remember finishing an actual game of Monopoly and stuff before, but yeah, it was eventually somebody just owned all the properties or hotels, and you land on it and you go bankrupt, and that was it. Like, all right, great.
But like other commercials too, not even board games, like they made everything look so much better than what it really was. Mm-hmm. So when you got it, you're like, I want to do this. You're like, wait a minute, I have nowhere to do this at. Like the G.I. Joe commercials or the Masters Universe commercials. Or the Ghostbusters commercials. Like you didn't have a sweet like alleyway toy setup that they had in the commercials, or a room that had like a purple light and a fog machine, so you could do your slime and crap. Like it was commercials now for toys are just like dumb. Mm-hmm. You see them on TV, it's like it would just be a toy that's just called like Doggy, and you're just like, look at Doggy. Doggy's cool. Buy Doggy. That's like what commercials are nowadays. Like when I would see commercials, I love watching old commercials. Like even for the food stuff. Mm-hmm. Like the one thing I always bring up is Magic Middles from Keebler.
Okay.
There was a commercial for those, and they were so good. And then, like you said, Taco Bell had about 9,000 commercials for 9,000 different things. McDonald's used to have their commercials. With Ronald McDonald, Fry Guys, Birdie, all them. And now they just have some low-talking guy advertising crap.
Yeah, I remember a lot of Doritos commercials, too. They had a bunch. Mountain Dew, I don't think really did as ton until a little bit later on, though. I don't remember that as like a kid. I remember that being more like as a teenager, and like in like late '90s, like Mountain Dew started being everywhere.
I don't know why you just saying that made me think of how awesome the branding was, and it had to have been in the '90s. It had to have been when they changed like the logos of like everything, like that Cherry Coke logo that had like a maze around it. That's when Cherry Coke was good. Now I don't drink Coke or Cherry Coke. I drink like Sprite coffee and milk. That's like what I drink, or like Prime or Powerade or Gatorade or whatever. But I don't drink like any dark pop.
Yeah, everything got a hip upgrade to their logo back then.
Yeah,
and then
because that was back in time too of Surge.
Yeah, Surge. I forgot about Surge. Yeah,
it was like basically Slurm from Futurama.
Right.
That stuff was. I think I just liked it because the amount of sugar that was in it.
Well, I remember
Jolt.
I remember getting Jolt Cola as a kid. Yeah, like and be like twice the caffeine. All right,
it tasted like motor oil. It was so thick.
What could go wrong here?
And it came in a glass bottle.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jolt had like the most generic. It was like RC generic labeling, to where it just said Jolt in white with that big lightning bolt, and then the red behind it. Do they even still make Jolt?
I think they do.
I know they resurrected Surge at one point in time, then it went away again. But Jolt, if they still make it, I don't know who the world would be selling it. And the question is it still put it in glass bottles?
No, it was discontinued in March of 2019, including failed to a combination of factors, including bankruptcy, declining sales, and changing consumer preferences. So I guess Jolt wasn't healthy enough. It didn't claim to be. I mean, told you it was like
Coke's not even healthy. Like
no.
You can, if you have a clogged drain, you can pour a can of Coke down it.
Coke. I used to drink Coke a lot. Like I'll drink Coke Zero and stuff now, whatever, and like Cherry Zero, whatever. But like, there's just way too much sugar and all that now. But I remember they had for a brief time they had Coke Coffee, and it was cold. It was like it was only around for a little bit. It was I loved it because like you were like on
what the world.
It was more, yeah. It was like chugging down an energy drink, but with way more sugar and everything else. Yeah, it was probably one of the worst, least healthy things for you. But I remember that.
When did that come out?
That would have been. I think I was in my early 20s when that was around, early to mid 20s. So yeah, it was not around long.
Never heard of it. That's bananas. Coke Coffee.
Coke Coffee. Yep, came in a glass bottle. It was refrigerated. It was cold, whatever. But yeah,
I never heard of that ever. Let's keep on the theme of stuff. Obviously, stuff from childhood and commercials, all that stuff. I don't know why I thought about this today. Probably because I did a toy show over the weekend, which we're going to go into that in a little bit. But I sold these large erasers there. When I started thinking of all the other stuff that was popular when we were like growing up, I don't know why, but like Trapper Keepers, which I've made a comeback now. Lisa Frank, which Lisa Frank stuff is like stupid money now.
What's Lisa Frank?
You don't remember Lisa Frank? It was the thing that all girls had to have. It was those like folders and backpacks that had like bright pink pandas or cats. And they were like rainbow colors. Like all that Lisa Frank crap is like, I once bought this huge collection. It had 2 Lisa Frank like mystery boxes. that you buy from like Hames
Mm-hmm.
that just came with like pencils and crap. I sold both of them on eBay and like super fast, like $300 a piece.
Jeez.
I'm like, I didn't know Lisa Frank crap was worth anything. This was years ago, but still is. And the one thing I actually found these, I gotta give it to my sister because my sister collects Pound Puppy stuff. But I found this. I went to a storage unit like 2 weeks ago, and I found this there. She collects Pound Puppies, but I forgot all about these pencils. Do you remember these?
Vaguely.
So basically, you would pull one out.
Oh, it's got the different, yeah.
The stackable pencils. Mm-hmm. And you push it down back in. And then...
Yeah.
So I forgot all about these things. I was like, holy crap. And I had, like when I was in the parking lot, I had Google to see what the hell they were even called because I forgot. But yeah, stackable pencils were a huge deal growing up, which this came out in 1986. So I don't know why stackable, like why this was an idea. I don't know if this came before or after mechanical pencils because those Bics were like, growing up, that's all I wanted to write with was a Bic. And the problem was the tips would always break off like
constantly.
The second you start writing.
You had to write so like feather light or else it would just
Yeah, or you had to hold it at a certain angle
Yeah.
just to get it dark. But it was just stupid. Yeah, but this going to my sister. But I forgot all about stackable pencils.
Oh, we didn't have phones or electronics as kids really, so you know what I mean? They had to give us something to fidget
And
with
like,
while we were
the other thing too was like how you wouldn't even call them because they weren't even erasers. I would just call them pencil decorations, basically.
Oh yeah, I remember one specifically is coming to mind right off the top of my head. It was a Ghostbusters one where it was the fire station or whatever, and Slimer was attached to it.
That's the only one I had, and that was the one I was going to mention.
Yeah,
I don't even. Someone talked to me at the show over this weekend, telling me it came with a pencil. I don't remember that at all.
It might have,
because
but yeah.
I never had the pencil. I only had that, and I'm almost positive I got it from like Burger King or McDonald's.
It seemed like it was a Happy Meal toy or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because then there was also a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man pencil sharpener.
Mm.
But yeah, that Slimer with the firehouse where you like hit them and you can spin around. That was the only one I ever had. But like the reason why I also thought of this was because at the show I had a guy who follows me on Whatnot bought them from me. It was these Rambo erasers. And I told him, like, he goes, "What are those?" I go, "They're erasers." I go, "Could you imagine trying to write with that stupid thing on your pencil?"
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Oh, I'll take it." And I go, "Well, there's actually two. There's two different ones. One was like Black Ninja, and the other one was Commander whatever. It was like a bad guy. They were probably the size of this pencil. And you would like shove the pencil up their butt, and they'd be like a big starfish on top of your pencil, and they had weapons. And I'm like, how are you supposed to write with that? Because like it would weigh down your pencil so much, and they, like I said, they were not small. And like I just remember all that crap from back in the day that you used to be able to put on your pencil, like between the erasers, those mushroom ones that you'd put on.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
which I don't know if they still make those.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember them, all the erasers, like most of them anyway, and those stupid pink block ones. You go to erase it, would just rip the whole paper apart. It was like trying to erase your, erase with a rock. It was like, what? This doesn't work.
There are certain erasers as a kid. I remember it was for certain pencils. Like it literally did not erase anything. All it did was make these dark gray smears. And then, and you're like, oh my god, because when you could tell the difference between a good eraser and that eraser, because it would just glide across, and you're like, it's just smearing it.
There was very little quality control back in the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, those big ones just look like giant cow tongues. But yeah, I mean, pencil. Like I said, I keep calling them pencil decorations because I don't know what else to call them.
Pencil toppers, maybe? Is that what they're?
Yeah, pencil toppers, maybe. But it was just weird the fact that they, like I said, they made those giant Rambo ones and crap like that. It was just bizarre. So, but Lisa Frank stuff, like I said, she had folders, and there was that a lot of crap growing up that was like whatever, like it's a Ferrari, it's like the Ferrari or Lamborghini folders, and you had to have like oh my god, I remember what they were, Trapper Keeper folders. I'll never forget them, but I can't remember what they were called. They had like, they were like sports ones, kind of like, so they have a skateboarder, but his face, they're like caricatures, like CGI caricatures. So like his face would be real big, and then his skateboard was like real small. I don't know why that just popped in my head.
Nobody's Trapper Keeper lasted more than a week either.
No, because that plastic on them ripped all the time.
It ripped, and then the stupid pencil case in that thing, like that. There could not have been a cheaper plastic made on Earth than that thing. Because like literally, that thing would tear, and it would have, it'd just be tape all over after the first week. Like
I remember
Scotch tape all over
Trapper
Keeper.
I remember. Speaking of going back to commercials and school supplies, was they were made by Mead. They're called like 5-star. They were like a Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, I remember
they had
that.
A zipper all the way around.
Oh,
and they like made you tell. They like the commercials were basically showing you that they were indestructible.
Yeah, this came out later, didn't they? That was like a more.
I think those came out after Trapper Keepers. But yeah, large erasers, Trapper Keepers, stackable pencils. Hey. But I did a toy show over the weekend. I did a show called, everyone calls it something different, but it was the second ever Hoosier Collecticon. You weren't allowed to have anything older than like 1997, I think it was.
Okay.
So basically you had to do like vintage.
Or anything newer than 1997, you mean?
Yeah, nothing could be newer than 1997. It had to be 1997
and back.
Gotcha. It was put on by Froggy Flips and his friend. Froggy Flips is a huge YouTube guy that goes around and just buys toys, and he likes weird stuff. So that's what that show was just like weird vintage stuff. So like you would just see like knockoff Mad Balls, Balzac monsters. I don't know if you remember Balzac.
I remember those, yeah.
And it's just a bunch of weird stuff. Like it was just like it was everyone trying to find the weirdest crap they could bring it. That show has its identity of having the weird stuff and having Froggy Flips there. Because a lot of those people go there. They're paying the admission pretty much to meet Froggy Flips. Because I say this because I had a guy walk up to my table and say, "I'd buy something from you if I wasn't poor." And I said, "Then why did you pay to come into a toy show?" Yeah. But like each show has its like own identity that it's trying to portray, and their identity is pre-97 vintage, and honestly a lot of weird monster toys, which I was shocked by how many My Pet Monsters there were. Because usually when you see like a My Pet Monster at a show, no one ever buys them. This show, I think everyone who had one sold it. Because I've seen so many people walking around with a My Pet Monster. But then there was like there's a bunch of weird stuff, like I said, and some other like old WWF stuff. Like there was a Hogan. I collect the wrestling buddies. They had to be in the boxes. This guy had a Hogan one. And I wanted it, but I hate Hogan so much. Like, I didn't want to buy it. So I was like, it's a really good deal. I'm like, I just can't do it. I just hate Hogan so much. And I was like walking around, and someone else was carrying it around. I was like, all right, good. I don't have to buy it.
I separate Hogan. You know what I mean? Like I don't consider modern Hulk Hogan the same guy. It's like there was a cutoff period with him where it's like, okay, this guy's not the same guy anymore. Like not even at all anymore.
Oh, I get that, but I've always hated him.
You know, I loved him as a kid, man.
I hated him as a kid.
Yeah, I loved him as a kid. So like,
I hated him in WCW.
I crapped out on him. Yeah, I can't remember. It's at some point after we came back around, had that second little run there where he had the match with The Rock, which is a great match. That one WrestleMania match which was awesome. But after that, it was all downhill after that. But pretty much.
I've never liked him ever, and I'm just like, oh my god! Like I said, it was a really good deal. It's just I'm like, I just hate Hogan that much. I don't want to spend that much money on something that involves Hogan.
Well,
And then I was happy to see someone else bought it. Someone had a friggin' Mr. Ash shirt there.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, man, if that was my size, I'd probably buy it.
And speaking of wrestling, there was another thing from Toy Hile that I had in my hand and didn't buy, and I'm pissed off that I didn't buy it. It was the program from the first Survivor series, which was in Ritual Coliseum in Cleveland. But that was the first. Also, that's the first VHS wrestling tape I ever owned. Was that one? So I watched the hell out of it. And there's a program from it. It was only like $30. I was like, why didn't you buy that? Like, it doesn't take up any.
You remember what booth it was?
Takes up no, not really. But it's like yeah, that takes up no space at all. Why didn't you buy that stupid program? So yeah, so now
the programs are hard to find.
Another thing I got to look for now.
I was looking for old WWF stuff, old wrestling stuff there in general. There wasn't a whole lot. I talked to a guy who goes, I don't know if you remembered me or not. He goes, but the one Toy Hile years ago, he had a broken leg or something like that, and I let him in before everyone else because he was on crutches. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you look completely different than I would have never guessed it was the same guy, but it was. But he had a bunch of wrestling stuff. But he was just talking to me about wrestling in general, and I was trying to look to see, but he didn't have anything. I've been trying to find like crazy, weird WWF stuff. Like my buddy Wes has been carrying around these foam Brutus Barber beefcake shears for like 2 years now. And I'm like, stop bringing them to shows. You're never going to sell them.
Nobody wants the beefcake shear.
I'm like, no one wants the beefcake shears at all. He goes, come on, buy them from me. I'm like, no.
Wait, what's he want for the Brutus Barber beefcake
like $150.
Oof, yeah, no, not for that.
Because they're like, the handles are like cardboard, like paper towel rolls.
Oh, all right.
And then the shears are like green and it says Brutus Barber beefcake, and you could cut and strut with them. But like, I'm just like, no one likes Brutus that much.
No, nobody really even liked him back then. It was just he was Hulk Hogan's friend, so he always got stuck with Hulk Hogan. So that's why he got the Hogan rub for a little bit. But yeah, no one really cared. Like, he was not a very good wrestler. He had the sleeper hold. Like, all right, great. Like,
yeah, like it was just, I never liked him either. Looking back on it, old wrestling, I was like, what the hell did I really? Why did I watch this? Who did I even like? I hated like everyone. But I brought some stuff that I bought from the show. I didn't bring everything that I bought from the show. It was a fun show, except I ended up getting like food poisoning the day of setup. It was awful. So like I set up, walked around for a little bit, and covered up, and like went to the hotel. And I slept from 3:30 in the afternoon till 5:15 the next morning.
jeez.
I felt like crap. But there was a lot of crazy stuff I missed out on. I did grab some stuff. Like I didn't bring everything in. I'm trying to think of even remember everything I bought. I bought like a Raphael, movie star Raphael variant. The people looking up movie star turtles, I was one of them, and go, why is this so much money? It's because there's variants. They have different colored weapons. I found one at Chicago like a couple years ago and didn't realize it. They're $30 a piece, and I bought them from the guy. Like the one I saw for like $700.
Dang. Yeah.
Because it had yellow accessories instead of brown. But I bought like one of those. I bought some other random smaller stuff. Like pretty much everything I bought was just expensive because I have this thing in my head, like if it's something you never see, you should probably buy it because you're probably never going to see it again. Like I brought a couple of these one things. This dude had a table of Meteorbs. I don't know if you remember Meteorbs. He had a table full of them. At the end of the show, well, first off, let me say, a snowstorm hit the day of the show. So it really hindered the attendance, which sucks, but whatever. It's out of our control. So I was like, well, my sales kind of stank, so I better make it up for it by buying crap because that's how you have to do things in this business. So at the end of the show, I'm literally packing up. I walk up to the guy who had his table full of Meteors and go, how much for one of every single one? He told me, and then he goes, I'll throw in this too. He threw in like these stilts these stilts from Masters of the Universe, but I think I got 9 Meteorbs. I know the only ones I'm missing are the Astro Lion and Comet Cat. But here's one of them. This is called Gorilla, which this might be one of the worst ones.
Gorilla. I see.
Like he has like a giant belly and a giant butt. Like it's.
This was a Masters of the Universe toy?
Yeah, because I guess they were trying to.
Didn't know this existed either. 85.
Yeah, they were basically trying to do. My opinion is they were trying to capitalize. This is just my thoughts. Trying to capitalize off not Masters of the Universe, Transformers.
Oh, I gotcha. So
they had meteors that turn into. They're called comet creatures that transform. Like this one, Crocobite.
On sale for $1. I'm assuming you didn't pay $1.
I wish. A lot more than $1. This one is probably one of my favorite ones. Dinosaur. It's like a brontosaurus. This one, I only picked 4 out of the 9 I got.
I mean, I had Masters of the Universe, like the main stuff as a kid. I didn't even know these existed.
This one is Tiger.
So we got a... Okay, this one might have hindered on the Frosted Flakes copyright.
Probably. But, yeah, these came out in 85. I think Motu only went till like 87. So they were just pretty much throwing...
Just getting the last out of whatever the hell they could get out of
throwing
the line.
shit at the wall, see if it stuck. Because originally they were $1.99. Like, guy told me the story where he got them from. He went to an estate sale, or a garage sale, something like that. And the woman had all this stuff, and he goes, everything was marked higher than eBay. And then he said, "Do you have anything else like that you don't have out that's toy related? Anything else?" He kept asking her, and finally, because after I bought these, he goes, "Do you need more?" And he showed me a tote. He had a tote full of these. And he goes, she had a whole giant box of Meteorbs. Like
what ballpark? Like ballpark? What do these things go for these days?
About, depending on certain ones, the rarest one's Comet Cat. And she didn't have those for some reason, he said. Or Astro Lion. But they could go anywhere from like $70 to $200
Dang.
piece on card.
Mm.
So some of them loose, like I think Comet Cat loose is like probably like $70 if my memory serves me right. But I was like, I never see him on card ever.
Mm.
And yeah, he's like, the lady had a huge box of them. He's like, I paid up for them. He's like, it's just gonna take a while to sell them all. I'm like, yeah, well, clearly because you have a shit ton of them. But yeah, I bought 9 of them because I thought that's all he had. And then he goes, "Do you need more?" I'm like, "What? No." So like, I never see those ever. But from Froggy Flips was posting teasers of what they were gonna have at their booth, which they had tons of Seal Turtle stuff, rare Mad Ball stuff, like rare Weird Balls. Just stuff like that. But he posted a picture of a toy line that only has 4 action figures in it.
Mm.
I've had one of them once, loose with no accessories. He posted a picture of these. And I go, claim. And people like laughed at my comment. When he was unpacking, I go, let me know when you find this. Let me know when you find what I commented about. And he goes, oh, they're in one of these totes. Hold on. And he like dug them out for me. And I was like, he goes, I priced them high. But if you want, I'll sell them to you for this much. I go, I'll take them. He goes, oh, for real? I go, yeah. I go, you never see them. And I'm probably never going to see these on card ever again. Like I said, there's only 4 figures to this line. 2 good guys, 2 bad guys. It has a Super Nintendo game, which is stupid expensive. SwatKats.
Yeah, I've never heard of this one either.
Made by Remco.
Dang.
And they were done by Hanna-Barbera.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never seen
Yeah,
this
these
before.
are the villains. So it's Dr. Viper and Dark Cat. The guy right next to him had him loose. But I'm like, I don't want to know how much that guy wants them loose because that guy's prices are bananas on everything. So I already had someone message me asking me what I want for him. I'm like, I don't know yet. Like, I kind of want to hold on to them. But they're so crazy. Like,
So was this? So there was a video game for this, and they did a toy line. Which came first? Did the toy line come before? I mean, and was there any origin to this? Was it a comic? Was it?
oh, there's a cartoon.
There was a cartoon. Okay.
And it was obviously very short-lived. I was more shocked when I got it.
Good shape.
That
too.
I found out that they were made by Remco. Because Remco did like all the AWA stuff. And usually their figures weren't like very... Remco's stuff was very run-of-the-mill and like whatever.
Well, these are kind of cool. I mean, they're good-looking toys. And yeah, they're in these are in great shape too. Even the boxes are nice on these.
Yeah, and they only did four figures. They did T-Bone, Razor, Dr. Viper, and Dark Cat.
Yeah, Dr. Viper.
Like I thought it was so. I thought it was insane that Hanna-Barbera did it, and then Remco.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna sell them, but I really want these bad guys loose, complete. Because I just think I don't care about the heroes. They look whatever.
Yeah.
I just like the bad guys. But yeah, I was like, yeah, you let me know when you dig those out. He's like, they're right here. I'm like, I'm like, all right, I'll take them. Because I'm like, I'm never going to see them on card ever again.
What's the most expensive thing you've ever seen sold at a toy show? Whether you sold or that somebody else just bought there that was just like off the wall, like crazy expensive that somebody showed out a ton of money for. I'm guessing Cardona's probably involved.
I've never seen Cardona do a crazy deal. One of the it didn't happen at Toy Hio. It happened after Toy Hio. I wasn't there, but I heard all about it. Dan Housen bought first appearance Dr. Doom, Greg from All American.
Yeah.
And then Toy House set up. I watched my buddy Ron buy a first appearance Spider-Man, which was amazing, Amazing Fantasy 15 and Amazing Spider-Man #1 from my buddy Greg, who lives like 5 hours away, for 5 digits.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are not cheap comics.
Greg gave him a hell of a deal, And I was like, oh. I'm trying to think whether I watched a deal go down in the Chicago Toy Show parking lot for like $15,000 for a couple totes of carded G.I. Joes. I've never had any crazy deal go down. Like, the most expensive figure I've ever sold at a show was Great Ohio Toy Show last year. I sold a undercover Michelangelo. It had the card back. It was missing 2 accessories. It was like his knife or something like that, and a grenade or something. I can't remember what accessories he came with, but he was missing those 2. I want to say I sold it for like $1,500. It was opened, which kills me because I had 3 graded undercover turtles many years prior, and I think I sold them for like $1,000 a piece, and they were carded and graded. Yeah. And then years later, I saw one missing 2 accessories.
Yeah.
For more money. That was probably the most expensive action figure I've sold. Other expensive action figures I've sold was I had a original, was it 8-back Skeletor? I think it was. I think I sold that for like $900. I sold a Beastman on card during COVID for like $900. Let me tell you, Beastman prices, oh, God, did they plummet. Like, they're like $400 now. So, COVID, that's what we talked about a lot at the show, too, was during COVID, toy prices were, like, insane.
Yeah.
Like, during COVID, the Rock rookie card from the WWF trivia game was a $500 card.
Dang.
I had someone trade me their whole Hasbro collection for one. And then within a month, the card dropped to $300. And now it's probably nothing again.
Yeah.
But, like, we talked about that a lot. But, like, we talked about how it's, like, way easier to buy toy collections now because toy prices have fallen quite a bit if you have, like, the average stuff. Because during COVID, it was crazy.
Nobody had anything to do, man. So
they're all, like, jacking prices up. And now the prices have dropped big time, which is a blessing for a lot of people, curse for a lot of others who lost their ass on buying like a loose 1, 2, 3 kid for $1,500 when you can buy a carded one now for $1,000. But it is what it is. But yeah, like this type of stuff, if I see it, it's like I have to buy it. Like I kind of kick myself because this is the first time at a show I saw, like, people call them the Mad Balls bats, but they're not Mad Balls. They're like some knockoff.
Yeah.
So there's like bright colored bats with faces on them. This dude had 2 of them. He wanted like $250 for one and $350 for the other, and I never see them. And I always told myself, like, if I ever see one, I'm gonna buy one. And I didn't. And I went back, and they were gone. And I was like, I got myself some UK Monster in My Pocket wrestler thing because now I'm collecting Monster in My Pocket stuff because of monsters in the toy box. My one vendor friend had this. It was a UK exclusive set. It was they did wrestling monsters. And I was like, I like wrestling. And I like, obviously, like Monsters in My Pocket. I'm like, I have to get this because am I ever going to see it again? It's from the UK. Speaking of UK, a dude at that show had a carded Big Josh.
Who's Big Josh?
Doink the Clown.
Oh, okay.
He had his gimmick in WCW was Big Josh. He looked like a lumberjack.
I don't even remember that.
It was a UK exclusive. He had like $3,000 on it.
Dang, was that when Matt Bourne was? Or no?
Yeah, that was him.
When Matt Bourne was doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Because there were a couple different.
but then another vendor I know named Bruce sold a Big Josh loose without the 2x4 or whatever the hell he's supposed to come with, or axe or whatever the hell it is. He gave this guy such a deal. I wanted to puke because I was standing right there because I didn't know he had it. If I would have known he had it, I would have bought it. He sold it to him for like $50.
Dang.
And I'm like, Galoobs are super hard to sell though. But the fact that you got a UK exclusive Big Josh for like $50, that was like a steal. And I was just like, I'm gonna puke on myself. Like, meanwhile, the guy in my building had a carded one for $3,000, which was just insane to me. But
Big Josh was one of the Gloob figures.
Yeah, it was only available in the UK because us Americans, I guess, weren't a fan of Big Josh. I don't know.
I don't even remember him. So yeah, I mean,
the gimmick was terrible.
That was that.
The gimmick was not good.
That was that time in WCW before it got cool, like that early '90s period. It was bad. It was bad for WWF then too. But yeah, like everything was just so cheeseball, and WCW was just like bad knockoffs of WWF. It was like WWF light. But it was some rough stuff on there.
Show, like I said, the Hoosier Collecticon, it was mainly just weird balls, mad balls, goofy, obscure type stuff. Like obviously SWAT Kats and everything else I just named. But like I like seeing shows like that have their own niche. Like Toy House niche is like wrestling, and people complain about it, but like that's what we're known for. I mean, we still have tons of vintage toys. We still have tons of modern toys. We've slowly pushed out. Well, I don't want to say we've slowly pushed out, but the Funko people started to leave because We had two of the biggest Funko dealers, and then they both like pretty much transitioned out because I'm not even sure if they're still selling Funko or whatever they're doing, or they have other shows they want to do. I have no hard feelings over that or whatever, but
yeah, if people aren't going there for Funkos, then why show up
like
to sell
I'm
Funkos?
not a Funko person. I'd much rather, so I was able to fill those spots with like vintage toys and stuff like that because that's what I care about. But like, I was happy to see that they have their own style of show. Like Toy Palooza has its own style of show. Great Ohio has its own style. Like everyone needs to set their own trend of a show. You know what I mean? Like you don't want every show to be the same. Like there's some shows that just copy what they see another show do and go, well, it works for them. It's going to work for me. It doesn't. Like Mark, who we've had on the show before, who does Maryland Toy Expo. He tried wrestlers. It didn't work for him. Other shows have tried wrestlers. It doesn't work for them. And everyone's like, well, how do you get people to care about the wrestling here? This area loves wrestling. Like, you have to know what your area likes.
Yeah.
Like Major Pod did PowerCon. It did not go over well. Because you took a show, their niche market was Masters of the Universe. That's what that show was. And then he came to Toy-Hio and saw the line for the wrestlers. So, and literally not even joking, like 2 days later, he announced Major Pod. And I'm like, that's going to backfire. And it did. Badly. So bad to where they're teaming up with Toylanta now. So it's PowerCon, Toylanta together. Which he said it was never going to leave Columbus, but now it's down in Atlanta. So, like, whatever. Like, you have to know your markets. And, like, other shows keep bringing in wrestlers that, like, they're not drawing. You know what I mean? But, like, it's because you're trying to copy. Like, each show has its thing. Like, Great Ohio is like, we'll call it like the Chicago of Ohio. Because Chicago Toy Show is like huge. Multiple buildings, people sell in the parking lot, stuff like that. That's what Great Ohio is slowly becoming, is the Chicago of Ohio. But then there's like Toy-Hio, which is known for wrestling. And I get wrestlers who contact me, want to come, whatever else. People drive from Connecticut, flying from wherever. Like Froggy show, it's all weird, obscure, gross out toys. Toy Palooza is just driven by vintage. That, and it's like the only vintage show in town now. Within like the closest show in town, because Butler's no more, unfortunately. Like Butler's gimmick was, we're a toy show in a mall. Well, unfortunately, that's no more because the mall got bought and they're doing something with it. I don't know. They're probably gonna bulldoze it and make it into a hospital or something. I don't know. But like that's the thing. Like even like you have to look at it like this. Here's the way I thought of it. For people who are like, what's this have to do with our childhood? Remember when you used to go to the mall? Like when you go to the mall now, what do you think?
Yeah, whatever. It's like a wasteland now.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
So basically, the way I look at it is like this. You treat these toy shows like malls. When we were growing up, there was water fountains, there was carousels. Like when you went to the mall, it was a huge deal. It was like an event. Like when you go to these shows have to be like how those malls were back in the day. You want it to be an event. You want it to be a good experience. Like, you want it to be where people are like, I'm going to come back to this. So you have to find your own niche. Like, there was I remember growing up, my aunt used to take us to this mall in Cleveland. I know it's abandoned now. It had an escalator because it had a second floor. It was, like, super big. It was awesome. It was, like, the nicest mall I've ever been in. And now, like, the windows are cracked. There's trees growing through it because, like, God only knows what happened to it. It's just no more. And that's the way I look at these shows that keep sprouting up everywhere that don't have their own identity.
Mm-hmm.
They're like an abandoned mall. Mm-hmm. They're just trying to steal whatever leftovers they can, and instead of trying to find their own identity, like they try to like steal someone else's. Like I said, every show has its own thing. Like Chicago's been around forever. It started as a doll show, and then became more toys. There's video game shows all over the place, but like you have to treat these things like it's an event. You have to make people mad that they missed out. Mm-hmm. Like, even if it's the stupidest little things of calling out a thief and then dragging them out of the building. Do you have any idea how many people were talking about that in Indiana when I was there? Like, it's those little things. You don't want people talking about, like, you have a food truck in your building and it was on the whole time, so all you smelled was grease and exhaust. Like, like that's the type of thing. Like, you want these shows to be like a family reunion. Someone said it best on Toy Hobos. They see it as a family reunion that involves basically memories. And you want these to be good memories. You don't want these people driving hours to be like, what the hell's there a bunch of crafters here? Or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, you want this stuff to... We do these shows to... I should say I do these shows, and other people do these shows to generate a community, stuff like that. Other people think of it as a money grab. It is what it is. But I had fun at the Froggy show. Rumors have it they're doing a fall show, but unfortunately I don't think I'm going to be there because the rumor is I might be on a day of another show I do. So, and that show's closer. So I prefer closer than longer. So. And I went on a tangent about toy shows, sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Want to get to some comics here?
Oh, yeah. Gotta do the comics.
There's a couple of them. Couple random. I don't even know what that one title is. No idea.
Firearm?
It's just another one of those wacky books that, I don't know, where they would just greenlit everything.
I don't even know who made this.
In the 90s. I don't even know either. It's got to be in there somewhere.
What company is this? Ooh, Terminator 2. Did you ever play this?
I don't think I did, no.
The heavy metal eye opener arrives in December. Once again, this will be a movie. We skipped. There's toys for that this week because I didn't have any time to watch anything.
Oh, speaking of real quick on that. So I looked to see, I figured Over the Top had toys, right? So I thought maybe Cobra had toys. Cobra did not have toys, but Sylvester Stallone released a Cobra, whatever the hell, through his website. Guess how much the Cobra figure is?
I don't even want
to. $290. But and apparently there's a Cobra sequel coming out that he's doing. So I saw that.
Why is there a sequel to that movie coming out?
Because they make a sequel to everything. But anyways, yeah, I looked that up, and now all my ads are nothing but Sylvester Stallone and Rocky shit, and like I screwed up my whole feed by clicking on Sylvester Stallone's custom-made Cobra toy. But all right, well, so we have an issue of Iron Man here. This is from August 95. So this Coca-Cola on the back. Speaking of when they started doing wacky ads for soft drinks to do whatever, like, I don't know.
Wait, 90 what?
95.
So that's probably around the time where Aerosmith released, because that 9 Lives.
Yeah.
Because that's what that looks like.
It does look like that, actually. Yeah. I know we got another one here.
This one's from 93, and I still don't know who put it out. Malibu Comics.
There you go.
Oh, but you won't find a toy like this in any Cracker Jack box.
Yeah. Yeah. I would think not. They're big.
A big blue revolver.
Yeah,
I remember this game was right there because I remember it seeing at the roller rink and everything else, which is a big arcade game.
Yeah, it's the gun in a box.
We got a gun in a box.
Here we go. Nestle Quick Candy Bars. Remember those? I never had these.
No, I do not remember those. Taste my super new chew. Should probably come up with a different tagline than that.
Yeah.
It's like tobacco. I never knew they made candy bars.
I never did either.
Scott's gonna be online trying to find one.
Yep. Oh, here we go for. Oh my goodness, this is impossible to read. This is a Captain Crunch ad, but I don't know. I mean, what the purpose of
Tuesday,
it is.
Wednesday, Thursday. You and the captain make it happen.
I don't know what the purpose of it is.
It's a lot of reading. Because losing sucks. Super advantage controller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because losing sucks. So you need a controller that has 1, 2, 3, that's 6, 12 little slidey things, 6 more buttons.
Yeah, I mean, they just have buttons on there to have buttons on there. I don't know if they did anything.
Oh, hands-free auto turbo and slow motion controller.
Well, there you go. Here's an ad for Exo Squad for the Genesis. I don't remember Exo Squad.
I remember the toys because I know Ron from Your Toy Connection. That's like one of his favorite toy lines. I never knew they made a game for that. It was also a cartoon series.
Ah.
Ask Diane. Sorry, Diane, I ain't ask you nothing. Why is this upside down?
Oh, it flips. So you flip it,
Oh.
and they do the flip cover. Here we go. Here's an ad for combos with Combo Man.
I remember Combo Man. I hated combos so much. They still make them, and they're gross.
They're okay.
Like,
I don't know. You
growing
think like
up- well,
it seems like a good idea, and then you're like, this is crappy.
Growing up in the 90s, they made you think that certain foods were really cool. Combos was one of those cool commercials. You'd see people eating them, like Mentos,
Yeah.
which Mentos were actually good,
You think, yeah,
but combos, no.
yeah, it's all right,
Eat,
but yeah.
Sleep, bust a few heads. Game I never heard of in my life. World Heroes.
That's just a Street Fighter ripoff. It looks like.
Oh, straight up. Street Fighter. I don't even know what else.
Here you go. Guarantee you'll be as good as Wayne Gretzky with Wayne Gretzky street hockey shoes by LA Gear.
Whatever happened to LA Gear? I remember those shoes that they had that had the ratchet on
Yeah.
or whatever. RoboCop 3. Why in the world they felt the need to make the game after... First off, RoboCop 1 is a cinematic masterpiece. 2 is awful. 3 killed Fred Decker's career. Fred Decker did Monster Squad and Night of the Creeps. RoboCop 3 literally murdered his career to where he did not get work again. Because it was so awful. And the fact that they made it a game is even more crazy.
Treat yourself to the coolest cards from Eskimo Pie and Welch's. So trading cards in your Eskimo Pies and Welch's popsicles.
I forgot all about Eskimo Pies. And I did not know Welch's did...
Spider-Man tie-in.
I didn't know Welch's did, whatever the world those are called.
Fruit juice bars.
Fruit juice bars.
So God, I think we're down to the last ad here for this one. Oh yeah, here's a Walt Disney Pictures presents Operation
Dumbo
Dumbo
Drop. I was about to say, is that an elephant's butt?
When you weigh 4 tons, it's hard to be a secret weapon. Yeah, it is.
Danny Glover, Ray Liotta, Dennis Leary. Whatever happened to Dougie Doug
I don't know. That's a good question.
from his cinematic masterpiece, Cool Runnings?
Yeah. Boy, yeah. Danny Glover and Dennis Leary want to forget that one, I bet.
Recruit your own team of special forces. the G.I. Joe cards, which are on the counter at Time Capsule Toys.
Oh, there you go. All right, we're going back a ways now. This is a Gru the Wanderer from 1985.
It's always Gru time.
I think we had this one before. The Reach for the Stars, the Young Astronaut program. Captain America is the sponsor. So if you want to become an astronaut.
And Reach for the Stars.
Yeah, I don't... Oh, there's another one. The BMX experience with the Stu Thompson power system from Huffy.
Okay, if you're doing BMX, you're not getting a Huffy. Like, at all.
Well, trying to get into the marketplace here with Stu Thompson, who I've never heard of.
Compared to Battletoads, turtles seem like pond scum. Dude, if you're ready for a game that totally kicks butt, get Battletoads with 12 leaping levels of fierce fighting and radical racing. AKA one of the hardest games ever to play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we talked about this before. It sucked because you could hurt the other player with you.
Yes.
Which was like, why did you program it this way?
Does Score still make cards?
I don't know. They made a ton of them back in the day, though. I know that.
Kick off 1991 with Score.
Crazy
Eric Metcalf.
Crazy Label stick-ons, 101 stickers free with our fun catalog. And Space Toys, and then another one from Skinny to Terrific. Weight On for a terrific body. Gain pounds, inches, new curves with Weight On's nutritionally proven formula. So at drugstores, I don't know. So yeah, you want to put on some weight. You pencil neck geek, put on some weight.
The NBA's jamming on Game Boy. Horse around with Charles Barkley. Go one-on-one with Isaiah Thomas. Starting your own NBA All-Star Tournament. Shootout with Patrick Ewing. Match free throws with Chris Mullen. Play alone or head-to-head against a friend.
All right, this one might be one of the most...
I don't know why they only released this for Game Boy.
What is it called?
NBA All-Star Challenge.
That's not an NBA Jam for Game Boy? That's
Nope.
just a different thing.
Made by LJN.
All right, this might be one of the most disturbing ads I've ever seen in a comic. Power Pack of the Amazing Spider-Man with tips on ways to prevent sexual abuse.
What?
Yeah, tips on ways to prevent sexual abuse.
Okay, what's one of the tips?
Your body belongs to you, and you have a right to decide how and when anyone touches you. If somebody tries to touch you in ways that don't feel good or seem right, say no. Don't forget, if the first person you tell doesn't believe you, keep telling you until you find someone who does.
What?
And remember, if this happens, it's not your fault. Like, good Lord. You need to have Spider-Man.
This is crazy to me. So back in the day, this is like the hot comics and shirts and stuff like that. I would always go through here like, man, I want some of these shirts. It's crazy to think that some of these shirts were $14 back then. In what year was this?
I think that one's 91.
91. So in 1991, shirts were still like $15.
Mm-hmm. The Tootsie Roll Swap a Joke sweepstakes. Inside specially marked wrappers, 25,000 available prizes. Win a Schwinn bike. Collect jokes numbered 1 through 36. Here's joke number 5. How do you treat a hog's sore throat? With ointment. Oh boy. There's your Swap a Joke sweepstakes.
Sponsored by Tootsie Roll. Come get a big turd log to go along with your turd log.
Man, I wish I'd sent away for some of those shirts and just
That's
kept them.
what I was about to say. This is a different ad
They're
for
probably
shirts.
they're probably worth a ton.
Yeah, the Ghost Rider, Teamer, Silver Surfer, and Weapon X. I bet that these shirts are worth so much money it's not even funny.
Oh, I'm sure.
Especially that Ghost Rider one.
Here's an Oreo maze. Switch way to the creamy center of a crunchy Oreo chocolate sandwich cookie. So you gotta play the maze for Oreo.
Oh, Oreo. Bullpen bulletins. Who reads these?
All right, we'll see if you remember this guy and if there were toys for him. This is a Reese's Pieces ad. And they had a mascot, apparently, in 1984. Shadamephus. You remember this Reese's Pieces character? Or is there a toy for him somewhere? I bet you there probably is.
No.
Yeah, I've never heard of this either.
Never. I never seen it. So there's this whole thing about bullpen bulletins. Stan's soapbox. And it's Stanley says something. So there's this whole big thing here written by Aunt May. And I just happened to glance at the last paragraph. It says, "Till next May, this is May Parker leaving you with a funny saying. I heard a Bobby Soxer tell his chum, if I don't see you in the mattress, I'll see you in the spring."
Oh boy. Don't quit your day job there, Aunt May.
Aunt May, you're a creep. East Coast Comics. Another game I've never heard of before in my life. My last ad made by Konami. Hit 'em high, hit 'em low. Laser Invasion.
Never heard of Laser Invasion.
Oh, on the back they're advertising Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Come.
Laser Invasion. Nintendo. Oh, you gotta use the laser scope? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's not good.
Any game that you had buy something specifically to use, you know it's gonna stink.
Yeah, it was always crap when you had to buy an extra accessory for a game. These accessories never worked, and the game usually sucked it. And it was like, why did I just do this?
Like those stupid, like, I swear those controllers that were wireless that sucked so bad. My uncle had them. Yeah, like
It never worked.
they never worked because you had to sit so close to the sensor or the power glove. That never worked. Lucas wasn't lying when he said, "Oh, it's so bad." It is so bad because it don't work. Anyways, that is it for us today. Thank you everyone for tuning in and checking us out. We'll be back next week. I was going to say same bad time, same bad channel, but we don't know what time. We don't know what day. So but tune in next week. We'll be back. Thanks everyone for watching.